It's time for this week's edition of Talking Real Estate, and I'm joined, as always, by Wes Davidson from PRD in Horsham. Morning, Wes. How are you?
Good morning, Nims. I'm very well, thank you.
Now, what's the latest in real estate news for this week? Because I see that across the pond, our neighbours in the Great Southern Land, Auckland is hot property.
Auckland's very hot property. Australia, of course, we're seeing massive growth in prices in recent times and issues about home loan affordability. In the last 12 months, a record number of Australians have actually migrated to New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is there are no property taxes, there's no stamp duty, no capital gains tax. And so the affordability is quite good. But at the top end of the market, Christie's, which is an international real estate firm and does very top end, it's now named Auckland as the fastest growing place in the world for top-end properties, and 63% increase in properties over $1 million. Now, I don't know if you've been to Auckland, but it's a beautiful spot, as you know. It's a bit like Sydney to look at Adelaide's pace. So I can see why there's an attraction, but so just across the Tasman, some people are now leaving Australia to go and invest their money over in Auckland. That's
absolutely amazing, and plenty of wide open spaces there too. Now, I hate to talk taxes, but there is a new federal tax on property, isn't there?
Correct. From the 1st of July, any property that is sold in excess of $2 million will need a clearance certificate from the ATO. So what that means, if you own the property, you have to apply to the ATO for a certificate to say you are entitled to keep the money. If you are a foreign resident who is selling, they are going to make 10% of your purchase or your realisation of your property be held back for the benefit of the ATO, and the purchaser will do that. So unless you can produce a clearance certificate for a property over $2 million, the purchaser will be obligated to hold 10% back and submit that to the ATO. So a little bit like GST in reverse. And then, of course, this is designed to stop overseas people coming and buying property in Australia, then taking the profits out and not paying the due capital gains tax and so on. So it's been on the board for a while. So that will obviously, it won't affect too many people in our market, but when you start talking to Sydney's, Melbourne, Brisbane, etc., it's going to have a huge impact. And the way properties are getting sold, of course, going to an auction, you can imagine the agent, he's going to have to guess, is this property going to make $2 million? Is it not going to make $2 million? And they'll have to be prepared for that well in advance.
They certainly will. You just mentioned, now last week we were talking about Horsham. Yep. You've got a little report for us. There's some rather interesting figures here.
Yeah, look, quick snapshot of it. 87% of all the sales in the last 12 months were under 400,000. No surprise there. 71% were 300,000 and under. In the last 6 months, which is the final quarter of 2015 and the first quarter of 2016, the market snapshot is this. The house sales volume is down. So there's not as many houses getting sold. The house median price pretty much the same, around 240. House rental volumes are down. Unit sales volume is up. So more units have been sold in the last 6 months than in the preceding 6 months. The unit median price, though, is down. So that means that there's been more affordable units coming onto the market, and the unit rental volume is pretty much the same. Overall, you've got sales and rental volumes both down slightly. Nothing drastic, just very, very minor. Vacancy rates on rentals went up from 3.2% to 3.9%. Figure we would agree with. And if you look in the rental market, 3-bedroom homes account for 63% of all the available rental homes, and 2-bedroom units account for 62% of all the available rental units. So if you're outside, that's where, if you're looking to invest, that's where the most of the interest is in the rental market.
Good to see that. I'm proud of the part of the 62% there, which is always good. Well, Wes, thanks again for popping into the studio. And remember, if you do want to catch up with any of the other episodes of Talking Real Estate, you can head to the PRD website. That's prdhorsham.com.au. Wes, thanks for taking the time to pop in the studio.
You're welcome,
catch up
mate.
next week.
Thank you.